Welcome back. Last time we were chatting about the 3 blocks that keep writers stuck. The first roadblock is the identity crisis that keeps us in self doubt and wondering if we're really allowed to tell our own stories. The second was the isolation trap that keeps us flailing in the dark without the community we need to be able to see our own path. And the third is the follow through fade that gets us really excited when we start something and then wondering months later, oh yeah, what happened to me writing that? Today, I'm going to give you the system that has helped hundreds of writers through my book and my coaching complete the work they want to complete, see it out in the world, and make an impact with readers. I've spent 2 decades refining this system, both as a writer and as a writing coach. And once you understand it, it really changes everything. I know what it's like to struggle to finish. I have struggled with completing projects my entire life. I nearly failed out of 6th grade. I had ideas everywhere. I was really excited about my projects, but I just kept seeing everyone else make more progress than I did. I kept wondering, how can I be the writer I want to be? Someone who actually completes her work, gets it published, and hears back from readers about how it helped them. Then when I was 38, I was diagnosed with ADHD. And I was like, oh, it all makes sense. Over that time, in the 20 years beforehand, I had created this system that not only works for neurodivergent brains like mine, but works for everybody. If this system can help me, someone with a literal disorder, for finishing projects and focusing, then imagine what it can do for you. As we go through each of the 6 elements, ask yourself, do I have that in place to help me complete this project? The F stands for fake stakes. I unknowingly invented this the second I decided to become a writer. I was in Peace Corps and I saw a poet selling her poems on the bus, and something about her just spurred me to actually try to quit being so scared and just be a creative writer. The first thing I did was sign up for the Peace Corps Paraguay talent show, which took place on Thanksgiving, where all the volunteers in the country, 200 people, gathered, and we all did a talent show. I had 3 months and I was terrified, and I worked on my piece every single day. That night, performing, I felt so proud of my piece, and I had gotten it done because there was a fire lit under my butt. I had an answer to the question, what would happen if I don't write today? For those 3 months, the answer was I could embarrass myself in front of 200 people. So fake stakes is about having an answer to the question, what would happen if I didn't write today? Maybe you wouldn't have something for a class, you want to go to an open mic night, or you have a friend waiting for your work. Real stakes are book editors and deadlines, but until you get those in place, you have to replace them with some kind of fake stakes, something that makes you as nervous as an editor waiting for your work. I have used fake stakes throughout my career, from the talent shows to open mics to putting on my calendar, are you even a writer, once a month, and having that be the day I had to get a fellow essayist an essay and vice versa. That accountability measure with my friend led to my first viral piece. The second element is increment. We want to be a writer. We want to write a book. And every day, if that is the goal we're facing, of course, we're going to fail every single day. So instead, you want to increment out. How can you take this project and make it something that you can check off the list today? I want to write for 15 minutes. I want to write 350 words, which incidentally creates a book in 1 year if you do that. You have to break it down into achievable goals so that you can feel like it is possible. Over the last year, I've been doing 500 words a day on my novel, and now that I'm editing, it's 2 hours a day. I'm not thinking about 80,000 words. I'm thinking about 500 words. The next element is nix, and this is where we really have to make tough choices. Recently, my nephew graduated from boot camp, and it made me ask, what was the last time I had a really intense experience like a boot camp? When he was at boot camp, he didn't have his cell phone. He didn't get to go out with his friends. He didn't do a lot. But what he did was get Soldier of the Cycle and really increase his skills. He learned so much during that time. Peace Corps for me was kind of like that, but I really haven't done something so intense. You think about Olympic athletes and everything they give up. I think we focus a little too much on what we want to add to our lives. We want to read more. We want to write more. We want to get published. But we don't think about what are we willing to trade in order to make that happen. This means you have to seriously think about the ingredients of your life and what can go in place of the work you want to be doing. Next up is immerse. You want to immerse yourself in your work, feel that amazing flow energy we feel when it's like time just flies by. You can't do that if you don't feel, in a way, safe to really sit down and unplug. If you know you have unanswered emails, or you haven't really planned what you were supposed to do later, or you're behind on your bills. If you've communicated with your family and friends, this is my writing time. If you have a system to handle all the other stuff life is demanding of you, then you really have a much better chance of being able to sit down and say, okay, this is my writing time. It requires having a full structure around that time and being able to trust that you can unplug. It also has to do with having a plan for yourself. When you sit down, you might have a note from yesterday. Today is doing this and going right in. One of the things we do during a very important meeting, my daily writing group, is we sit down and I lead a 10-minute meditation and then I read a poem. And that is such a nice way to immerse in your work. The fifth element is share, and this is about community. I love creating community, being in community with other writers. It is just so helpful. I remember reading Jesmyn Ward's Salvage the Bones, and the book was so good that I woke up at 4 a.m. being like, I am not a real writer. I can't be a writer. Like, that's a writer. And it took my friend Laura, a fabulous poet, to say, you don't have to be Jesmyn Ward. Jesmyn Ward is the best of the best, right? And Jesmyn Ward doesn't have my sense of humor, or I don't know, I'm sure there's something else I got on Jesmyn Ward, but like, she brought me back from the brink. And so many times I see in my writing groups how one writer will talk about a struggle and another writer will say, oh yeah, I have felt that, but here's what you need to do. Or here's a way to reframe that. Or they'll have a struggle and another writer will have a resource. We all fall on this path. And when you have other writers going along with you, they can pick you up. And we also teach each other. One writer will say, oh my gosh, I love this book. I see everyone else scribbling down the title. Someone says, I don't know where this belongs. Another person has the perfect magazine where that piece should go. Community is, to me, essential in my writing life. Of course, there are the writers who just are out in their cabins creating art, doing their work. That is not me. And for a lot of writers, I think community is essential. The last element is hype. And for me, this is about managing your emotions as you go along the trail. You have to learn to get yourself from a negative state to a positive state. If I am like, oh my God, I haven't had anything published in forever, and I don't know, this is a stupid idea, I don't even know, I hate it. Okay, let me sit down to write. Like, that's not gonna work. We have to be able to say, okay, I'm feeling frustration, I'm feeling self-doubt, I'm feeling all these things, and take ourselves and pick ourselves up and put ourselves in a more positive framework. So hype could be anything from phone a friend, exercising, meditation, self-care. For me, sometimes it means taking a little time in the middle of the day to cook myself a really nice meal for lunch. That is like just a break. It's taking care of your mental and emotional health as you go along on your writer's life, because there are going to be so many challenges and you don't get the best out of yourself when you are feeling in that kind of low vibe state. You need to kick up the vibes so that you can be in that playful state, in that creative state. When we get stressed and we feel fear, our brains will literally switch from our prefrontal cortex, which is the last part that we evolved. It has all the language and memory and the good stuff, and we'll flip back into our prefrontal cortex, which is our bird brain, fight or flight, and it will take resources away from the best part of our brain and just have us like all stressed and jittery. So you need to learn to bring yourself back into the best part of your brain in order to work. And those are the emotional skills that I don't hear talked about enough as a writer. So when you put these together, you'll notice that it is an acronym that spells FINISH. Fake stakes, increment, nix, immerse, share, and hype. Think about a project you have. Do you have all of these in your writing life? I spent the last year turning what was just coaching and editing into a full program that incorporates all these elements called the Finishing School for Writers. In the next video, I'll show you how the finishing school sets writers up for lasting change and not only helps writers finish projects in the program, but continue to be the kind of writer who will finish projects, get them out in the world, and make an impact on readers for the rest of their lives. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.